Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanas. This is episode 220, season 9. Today's date is May 16th, 2023, and welcome to the show. On today's program, I will talk about the marathon taxi cab vehicles. Oh, those classic taxi cabs you used to see in the Loop, in Chicago's Loop, that is. Oh. And also I will talk about the Auchan Hypermarket store that was here in the Chicagoland area briefly. So I'll talk about my memories of that. But first, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Shake and Bake, barbecue style. So we know this product very well. So here's a commercial from 1975. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the program. Thank you, everyone.
George and I have a brand new barbecue grill indoors.
It's our oven.
Thanks to Shake and Bake coating mix, barbecue style. Turns your oven into a barbecue grill. Shake your chicken, then bake. No basting, no turning. It makes its own tangy, tomatoey barbecue sauce. You get real barbecue chicken, just like you cooked it on the grill. Try Shake and Bake, barbecue style.
And turn your oven into a barbecue grill.
One for chicken, one for pork chops and ribs.
This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Shake and Bake Cody mix, barbecue style. I remember this product is still around. Kraft makes them. And before that, it was owned by Good Seasons. You remember Good Seasons Italian dressing? You take a pouch, you pour it in a bottle, you put some oil or vinegar or what have you. Shake it up and down, and then there's your salad dressing. Boom. So my memories of that, let's see, the products started in the 60s. When we lived in the Roseland neighborhood, my mom bought this, probably at the A&P or a Gately's People store in the basement. They had a grocery store there, or National Foods. She started cooking with that. It was pretty good. We only used chicken, and that was an alternative to frying. I love fried chicken. Oh, it's wonderful. Now today we have air fryers. So we don't have an air fryer yet. I'm working on that. We'll see. I haven't even eaten anything from an air fryer so far, so we'll see. So my mom made that, and she bought it a few times in the 70s when we lived in the Roseland neighborhood in Chicago. It was okay. And this product came for other flavors, for not just chicken, pork. You can put this on your pork chops, your fish, barbecue ribs. That's kind of odd. I don't know what else. I think that's it, basically. And sometimes they had like herbs and spices or lemon or something like that. So it's still around. If you go to your grocery store, order on Amazon, it's there. I don't know how it tastes now. No idea. Okay. Also, it featured those famous commercials. That was Pete the Butcher. I don't know who the actor was. I tried to research. I couldn't find him. But you remember him from the 70s. People would complain, My chicken is dry. What should I do? You shake and bake. So anyway, that's good. All right. So at the beginning of the program, I mentioned that I'm going to talk about marathon taxi cab vehicles in Chicago. Also, the Auchan Hypermarket store that was located in Bridgeview, Illinois, and it was there briefly. We'll talk about both of those coming up. Before I get started, I want to mention something. This past Sunday was Mother's Day. It was very nice. My brother and I took my mom to church. It was a very nice service. They had food afterwards. They had some sandwiches and cake and all that. We didn't go out to a restaurant. My mom doesn't like restaurant food. She doesn't like that. I don't blame her, but she don't like crowds either. But we talked to people and other mothers and their, and also one meeting, people came over and said, "Oh, I love your podcast. I love your page." They suggested talk about this, talk about that on your podcast, talk about service merchandise, talk about McDade's, anything. Come back in the thirsty way. Which, by the way, those last two I haven't discussed them yet. I will soon. So I'm open for suggestions. So that's great. It's nice to be recognized, but I don't go for attention. When I go out in public, I just be myself. If I get a compliment, that's great. Also, on social media, I don't expect to get comments. That's not what I'm looking for. I just post, move on. That's the way it is. Okay. And but it was very nice Mother's Day. Kind of cloudy, dreary, not too cold. But it was very nice. My mom cooked, of course. She don't like my cooking, so that's out. So she made a baked masticholi. It's one of my favorites. It was not too hard. I helped her with that. But we might go out to dinner sometime this week. We'll see. Avoid the crowds. Go to a nice place. She'd like that. Okay. So now let's get started with the show. For marathon taxi cab vehicles, Marathon was that was produced from the Checker Motors Corporation. That was it was first called the Checker Cab Manufacturing Company in Chicago, and then they merged to another company called Commonwealth Motors and Markin Automobile Body. Then they moved to Kalamazoo in 1923. They were founded a year before. And then they renamed it Checker Motors. Okay. So they're famous for those cars, those big cars you see, those taxi cars, you see them in the Loop and elsewhere, or not just in Chicago, but also in New York. I don't know about LA or other cities. I think it's just those two cities mainly. And there were special features were those wide rear doors, the trunks, and they had the jump seats for 2 extra passengers, like that. So you can, as a little kid, you can have 3 other people sit next to you, or I sit on someone's lap. It was so roomy back there. Even the trunk space was adequate. You could put if you're headed to the airport, you could put your suitcases there in the back. Also in the front, I think about 2 people could fit, besides the driver. Excuse me. Also, the Marathon was the automobile. The Marathon was produced by the Checkers Motor Corporation, between 1961 and 1982. And so that was not like a regular taxi, not like a regular car like that. So that's those caught your eye. And when I was a kid, I used to see him a lot in downtown Chicago, on Michigan Avenue, on State Street, any place. Not just the checker cabs, the yellow cabs too. the Yellow Cab Company is still around, as far as I know. And when when my family and I lived in South Shore neighborhood in Chicago, on the South Side, uh, we lived on South Colfax Avenue in an apartment building on the second floor, and when, outside by the porch, we could see the view of the cab company, and so that was on Exchange Avenue, and we saw all the cabs drive out or they pull in, and it was fascinating to watch. And I begged my mom to take me see up front to see how they all lined up like that. She said, yeah, she did that one day. Excuse me. So she did that, and so that was fun to watch. Oh, for a little kid, it was fun. It really was. So that's what I remember mostly. And you've seen those in movies and television. One famous scene in the movie was Tootsie, where Dustin Hoffman, I don't know if that was the same cab. I don't know. I don't think so. Where he was dressed up as Dorothy Michaels, the soap opera star. He or she wanted to get a cab, but he took the passenger out of the cab and then threw him on the ground, and then she went in. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm coughing. Talking too much. Anyway, like I said before, it ended in 1982. And I don't think he bought these cars at a car lot. I don't think so. I don't know if I use car lot. Nah, I don't think so. No, I don't think you did. But a lot of people were missing those. I think there was a cab company in the Uptown neighborhood in Chicago. I think it was there. So that's my memories of the marathon, like that. You can find memorabilia on eBay if you like, or like pictures or signs like that. I don't know if they have, like if you go to a car show or like in a museum and they have like a vintage one. I think they do. They probably salvage one of them, for display. That'd be kind of cool to see like that. So that's kind of fun. It really is to do that. And when I posted this the other day, there were some people that did drive a cab or they become passengers. A lot of people said, oh, they loved it. It was roomy. There was a lot of leg room. Someone mentioned, well, we had a governor, Governor Jim Thompson, who was governor of Illinois years ago. And he was a very tall man. And I think he couldn't sit in a regular car. It was very hard for him to sit. So he had his own marathon car. And some people said it was black, and probably. And that's the type of car he had. And when he lived in the city, well, of course, he lived in Springfield, because he was the governor. But when he lived in Chicago, I'm sure he had a place of his own here. And that's the type of car he had. Excuse me. So that was a fascinating piece of trivia. I never knew that. Never knew that at all. So that was fascinating. Okay. So I didn't go into much detail of the history of this, but as a kid, you remember seeing things like signs, cars, and all that. But that stood out. Those taxi cabs that when you visited the city or you saw them on the street, never forgotten those. No, you never did. You never have. It's a nice feeling. Okay. Next up, I'm going to talk about Auchan, the hypermarket. Oh, this one, I don't know. One day I was sitting on my computer and I thought, why don't I talk about this? Yeah, and it was here and then it was gone. So it's but the company is still around, but it's in Europe and also other in Africa as well. So I'll give you a brief history of this. So Auchan is a retail group headquartered in Croy, France, and it was founded in 1961. The man's name was Gerard Mouliez. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. My French is not good. And the first shop of Auchan, that is, was in Roubaix. I can't pronounce French. And that's located it's a city up in northern France. And that store was like a big box store. And they had everything, not just food. They had clothes, anything, like that. So, and it took off. It really did. And it's very popular to this day. And it's not just in France, it's in Spain, it's in Portugal, Luxembourg, Poland, Romania, Hungary, Ukraine, Russia, and also in Taiwan and Senegal, in Africa, also Tunisia. So they expanded, all that, but it took a while to decide to come to America. Okay. So in America, they decided to expand to the United States, which they did. So they opened in 1988. The first one was opened in Houston, Texas, in October 14th, 1988. That was the first one. And it was a big hit. It resembled like a Walmart, Sam's Club, like Costco, like that. And because it had a big area, so like that. So that's great. That's good news. And so they also opened a second store, not in Houston. They opened one in Chicago. And they opened in the suburb of Bridgeview, Illinois. And that one was located in Bridgeview at 79th and Harlem. That's a big shopping center. I see the shopping center all the time. I pass by it, like I said, numerous times. That was right next to the Venture store. I don't think it replaced Venture. No, I don't think so. So they had the grand opening on May 3rd, 1989. They had that. And let's see. But the difference was they only sold food. They didn't have other things. But I think they included other things. They had like video games, movies, maybe, I don't know, lots of stuff like that. It wasn't as big as the one in Houston, but a lot of people remember it. And they remember, people mentioned it on my Facebook page that they applied there, they worked there briefly. They loved it there. They really did. They liked it. And then, unfortunately, it only lasted about 2 years. So the store closed in 1991. And they closed the store and they converted it. Dominic's bought it, Finer Foods, and they converted it to an Omni Superstore in 1991. And then Omni closed, and then after that, I don't know what opened. I don't know what was there, but as far as I know, it's still vacant. I remember an Ames store was there. Yeah, that's. I don't know if it's in the same place, but that was after Zare left. Like that. But in Houston, they opened a second store. First one's still popular, and They did that, but they closed about 3 years later in 2003. So there isn't any more in the United States. They're gone like that. But the others are thriving in Europe. And the logo with the Auchan, they have the bird on that. So that was fascinating. It's like that. But I went to Auchan in Bridgeview twice, maybe once or twice. I took my mom there one time, and she liked the store. She really did. She went to Omni after that too, and it was like it reminds me of Cub Foods also, like that. Cub Foods was bigger. I might talk about Cub Foods down the road someday. Which they exist in Minnesota, but not in Chicago. So that's another topic. But I asked her the other day, "Do you remember Auchan when we shopped there?" And she says, "Kinda. Yeah, you remember the bird? She remembers colors and logos and all that. Yeah, I remember the bird. Like the it was a good store. They had everything. I heard they had a big cheese selection, not just French cheese, maybe other cheeses from other countries like that. That's what some people said. I do remember that. I remember the cheeses. I'm still fascinated when I see different kinds of cheeses like that. Camembert, Brie. They have Roquefort and all that. I don't know about Greek food. I don't think so. No, that was I was trying to find a commercial for Auchan. Nah, no luck. I couldn't find anything. So that was out like that. So that's one of those places in Chicago that vanish as you snap your fingers. Gone like that. So that's a shame. Okay. So this is a short podcast, and so I'm done for the day. So I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about the marathon taxi cab vehicles in Chicago, also the Auchan Hypermarket stores that was located in Bridgeview, Illinois, at 79th Street and South Harlem Avenue. So that's basically it for that. Once this podcast is published, you can subscribe. It'll be published wherever podcasts are available. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Also it'll be on my YouTube channel, the Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. A couple of people asked me, where can I listen? Where can I don't like apps and all that. You can listen on my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button, and you'll get a notification of the next episode. If you do that, you'll get this episode today. It'll be published this afternoon. Also, it'll be posted on my social media accounts, Facebook and Twitter. Also, on my website, vanishchicagoland.blog. Yeah. So that's good. So we reached 220. That's pretty good. We got 5 more for the end for the season 10, 9. For season 9, we got going to start season 10 after that. Next podcast episode will be coming up probably this weekend. We'll see. I'll think of something. I think I have an idea. I just thought of it. It'd be kind of cool. Okay. So this is Pico Stanish, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Sorry to be too brief, and forgive me for coughing. I don't know. I had something in my throat. I had to drink water. A lot of water, that is. And so here's bye-bye for me, and here's a bye-bye from Ray Rayner with a little traveling music, as always. So take it away, Ray. So long, everyone. Take care.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.